My name is Colin Knight, and I curate tours to give people a chance to experience the food, history, and culture of Boston's neighborhoods of color. It's been my mission since I started Live Like a Local Tours Boston to circulate dollars from tours back into the local economy. My love for Boston drives me to keep going each and every day to preserve the history and culture of these neighborhoods. I'm not just a tour guide, I'm a community ambassador, a vigilante, a neighborhood superhero, if you will, who has a tremendous amount of pride for where I come from. Let's go talk to some of the other unsung heroes who are in the trenches, making an impact in Roxbury's thriving Cape Verdean community.
The Other Ones Foundation is a nonprofit organization collecting all white Air Force Ones, and we donate to various communities and just people who might need them. My first big donation was 100 pairs, brought them to Praia, where my family's from in Cape Verde in Africa, west coast of Africa. And I set up with this organization there, For Life Inc., and we set up just like a party all day at a park. We had a DJ, we had like a bouncy house, we had food and music, and I had all my sneakers lined up, like sizes labeled. There were some volunteers there who were helping out. They had like plastic bags on their feet because they were playing basketball and their feet were dirty and they did not want to mess up the white sneakers. And there was one kid, I finally saw him, he got it to fit, and everyone's like, whoa! Everyone's cheering, put on the other one, and I was like, you can take off the plastic bag, like they're yours, like you good, is that right, it's yours. And he's like getting ready to, like he's tying them up, and then he's just looking at them like super excited, and I was like, okay, these are like special. That was like the most incredible like moment I've ever had. What Nike can do for Other Ones Foundation, I mean, it's Nike sneakers, like literally the logo is the Air Force, which is like, for me, the best, like coolest canvas, and you could do so much with them. What corporations can do for Other Ones and then just within the community is just like, you know, feedback into us. I think there's so much going on. There's a lot of creatives, a lot of some small businesses that can use even more support, more awareness, more like promotion, you know, just more eyes on us. I think like corporations can just bring the money back here. I think like we fuel the culture, and I think we're fueling everything that these corporations are doing. They're watching us, so it's like they gotta come and support us, so you know we can be even greater.
It's not about the money, it's about what billion-dollar corporations like Nike can do to support and provide viable resources to small businesses and youth organizations in underserved communities.
My name is Anthony Da Silva. I'm 4 out of 5 kids, born and raised in Roxbury all my life. By day, I'm a sneaker seller, entrepreneur. By night, I'm a security officer over at Carney Hospital in Dorchester. Why a sneaker store? I want to give back. There's not a lot of sneaker stores out here. You have to drive to South Shore, 15, 20 minutes drive. And we thought about it, my other partners, we thought about the best thing to give back to our community, sneaker store. Well, the Cape Verde community, we're very tight, we're very close. They say we might be family members, we probably are. How with Other Ones, she came in one day, proposed to us what she does, how she gives back. She donates used Air Forces to give back to the Cape Verde community or in Africa and donates. Hands down, when she said donation and stuff like that and what's the cause that she's doing for it was a no-brainer. Yes, we had to help. We want to be a branch. You can put your bins in here and give back. That's something that we want to do. See how we can help. We came together to help better this community is we sat down, we came up with a plan. For instance, our backpack drive. We sat down with Liz Miranda, see where we get the foundation to help us buy the backpacks, the school supplies and stuff. And for MBK, you know, they do little special events. They donated a couple of bouncy houses for us that we had. So when kids came to grab backpacks, they get to play at the bouncy house. We had Stop and Shop, donated a couple of food for us. We had a cookout where people came to eat. When we spoke to Liz Miranda, we gave information about healthcare, COVID vaccines, personal hygienes. If you'd be surprised in the family that's out here that just don't know the basic hygienes and stuff, just by giving that out, putting information out there, who to speak to and who to get contacted to get basic needs, it was a plus for us. So the community here, we close net. Once we come with a plan, we just have each other's back. What corporations can do for us, for me in general, is give back. Look into us instead of just looking out, looking in, help. Sit down to one of us, or even us, mom and pop store, Sneak Boston, or even other ones who we work with. Sit down with us, see what we can do for the community. We'll tell you what we need. There's not a lot of information out there how we can help each other, or information how we can brand ourselves even bigger. So if these corporations can sit down with us, tell us what we need to do and stuff, or give back, it'll be a blessing.
We don't play in the NBA like LeBron James. We don't rock the mic like Travis Scott. But we are the real superheroes that you don't see on the billboards or in the magazines. We're the ones putting in the work day in and day out. We're the ones nurturing and impacting the lives of our youth and supporting local businesses.
I am Tony Galveo. I'm the president and one of the 6 founders of a local nonprofit called My Brother's Keeper 617. We go by MBK 617. We started back in 2014 because we strongly believe like if we inspire the people, then the people's gonna build a community. I know the summer prior, like 2013, it was really hot in the neighborhood. There was a lot of shootings. And we just wanted to take the kids out the community and just like take them to the beach, take them outside of the neighborhood. And we just grabbed about 10, 15 kids we started off with. A kid will come with his little brother, a cousin, or a friend. And then we just started growing. It's like, well, now we got 40 kids and we don't got enough cars to take them. So a couple of years, we started doing more local stuff. Don't just come and just give us sneakers and thinking everything's cool. If a kid loves design, help him design a shoe. Get a group of kids and have them design the shoe. That's more valuable to us in the community than just giving us supplies. We appreciate it, and I don't want to take away from that, but it's like, there's a lot of kids that love art. They like to design. I know there's people that design things for all these corporations. There's people that do marketing. These kids is your #1 client. So let's partner it up and give these kids access to jobs. We really want to create a hub where people could come to us, and we don't want to just say, we got you. We really want to do the work.
It's about the Black, brown, and Latinx kids who spend all their money on Jordans, Nikes, and Converse sneakers and constantly get nothing in return. It's not enough to provide jerseys and sneakers for AAU tournaments. It's not enough to put out social media and social justice ads for the sake of symbolism.
You know, when I think about corporations, there's 2 fundamental issues with the way that they look at diversity, right? Many of them are hiring to meet quotas instead of looking at the opportunity that they have to hire diverse people to help their companies grow, right? I have a real big issue with 2 things: implicit bias training and diversity and inclusion, right? I want to move from diversity and inclusion and have equity and justice. When we're talking about equity and justice, it takes it to a whole other level. We're not just talking about with the sound bites about like, we are investing $1 million, we're hiring to meet these quotas. Really, if you're talking about equitable distribution, you'd have way more people of color. A lot of these departments that do corporate social responsibility have someone that went to college, got out, they're super smart, but they have no connection to the urban communities. You have to have, if you look at Dapper Dan and like Louis Vuitton or Gucci, looking at that they're really hiring people that have a pulse on their brand. You know, you're not supposed to like have Nike, some young woman who has never lived in the hood, you know, that you're trying to brand something that's going to be the next sneaker that urban core kids are supposed to have, right? The other thing I have with implicit bias, the reason why implicit bias trainings don't work, and a lot of people spend billions of dollars on this in their companies, is that there are explicit biases, right? We have explicit biases, all of us, about where people live, where they grew up, what their family structures are like, what type of education they have, the way that they look when they walk into a room. And so if you keep having these trainings that are about what you have subconsciously instead of understanding that there are conscious decisions that we make. Our boards are almost all white men, right? When you look at the C-suite, most companies have all white men, right? And it hasn't furthered in 40, 50 years. And that's one of the reasons why I have a wage transparency bill. It's looking at the top 100 companies in Massachusetts and looking at the top 100 earners to make the point that we have not furthered in 30, 40, 50 years, women, people who are differently abled, veterans, people of color, people who are immigrants, people who live in certain communities. And that's the reason why our communities are so economically disadvantaged, because we haven't been participatory in our top industries. We have all the major companies here. When you think about Reebok, you think about Converse, you think about Puma, you think about New Balance, and all of these companies have fallen short on providing to this community what this community deserves, because this is the community that's made Converse cool, it's made Nike cool, it's made Puma, made New Balance cool, and made Reebok cool. I remember wearing my 5411s, right? I had every pair. My Reebok Classics, I bought one almost every month, white and black with the rubber sole, right? We always went to Nubian Notion, to the sneaker store. We went to Harry the Greeks when it was here in the South End. We made these things, and I remember wearing my Reebok tracksuit. I remember wearing my Nike sneakers and spending a lot of money. I remember my Ken Griffey's was my first pair of sneakers that I bought with my own money. And it was $70, you know, like, so I think that this community deserves these companies, particularly Nike and other corporations, to understand that the value is in our communities. There's so much untapped talent here, right? And if you tapped into that, I think it's a win-win for our communities and a win-win for these companies. Corporations really have a moral obligation and an economic obligation to do a lot more for our communities.
The ball is in your court. It's time to stop talking about what needs to be done in your boardrooms and start taking action in our neighborhoods. You have the ability to impact and empower the lives of America's youth, one community at a time. So come join our squad.